congratulations again, Cindy, on NOSA Rock Fest. Huge success. I saw the numbers. That's pretty darn impressive. So,
Thank you.
great organization and doing great work in that community. Today's the start of the school year, so welcome back to all the Three Rivers folks and all the other parochial schools that are starting this past week or coming up. We are going to try to push out some stuff on social media as far as school bus safety, because no matter how many times you try to educate people about what is legal or not, and different lanes and 4 lanes and 2 lanes and all that, it seems to be a challenge. So we'll try to get the word out about that. Mr. Reed, Mr. Beck, and I have been working with the county engineer, with our project manager, Branstetter Carroll, and ODOT on the Roundabout, and it continues to be extremely frustrating. What I can assure everyone is that the group that is working from our township is extremely stern, extremely firm, letting our feelings be known about our frustrations and our displeasure, and that message has been delivered loud and clear, and I can tell you that we are doing everything in our power to move this thing forward, but unfortunately it is, again, a county project. Even though it's our project out here with the Roundabout, the county is essentially managing that project with Branstetter Carroll. So with that said, I reached out to the county engineer just again this morning for an update, asked them to give me the latest before tonight's meeting. They assured me that the latest revisions went to ODOT on August the 8th, and that we are hoping to schedule a meeting here in the next week or two, a field meeting to get out there. But again, we are doing absolutely everything, and if either of the two of you want to chime in on that, feel free. But it is, we're still hopeful that the project will move forward. There has been some rumors out there that it's fallen apart, ODOT pulled out of the state, all this other stuff. There's no truth to that whatsoever. We still expect it to go forward, but there's a lot of things outside of our control that we're waiting for the state, waiting for the county. So either of you gentlemen wanna
Exactly. I mean,
add anything?
I don't think that the emails I sent were anything less than stern on it, and I've only been involved in it for 3 months, and I know Mr. Beck's face when I see it in a meeting, so I know the frustration is far and wide, and I want to echo that, and that I'm sending at least an email or 2 a week to either the county or Branstetter Carroll, like, where's this at, where are we at, are these submitted yet, constantly. So so the frustration is certainly there, but as we have stated, we want to shove on the ground before the end of this year.
I'll just say that probably in October of this year, it'll be 7 years that I've definitely been involved with this thing. And back in 2015, we did a research with several architect firms, and the Township Board of Trustees reviewed those applications, and Branstetter Carroll, and I'll tell them to their face, is not the one we choose. We asked that we go with another company, and since the county kind of ruled the steering wheel on this thing, the current county engineer in 2015 says, no, we are going with Branstetter Carroll. And since they signed a contract with Branstetter Carroll, we had no choice. So we went with Branstetter Carroll. It has been a total nightmare. I can't tell you, I would say probably close to 50 to 60 meetings that we've had over those 7 years. We keep getting the architects at Branstetter Carroll hands on the project. One left, brought another one in, that one left, they brought back the first one again, the first one left. They then hired a gentleman from Indiana Highway Department, who we've dealt with for the last 2 years. In April, at our meeting in April, he notified us that he was leaving and going back to the State of Indiana Highway Department. Right now, it's in Brand Center Carroll, and the main person with Brand Center Carroll, it's in his hands, and it's just total frustration. But all we can say is, we want the roundabout. We've got, if you see the boards out here, you see the amount of paper that has been produced in 7 years is phenomenal. We basically have not paid 1 cent from out of pocket for the township. We have committed in the funding for it as far as partial, but it's basically Hamilton County. ODOT is just, it keeps going to ODOT and we get response, but all I can say is I've agreed to stay on as a community resident and see this thing either get through or pass through, one or the other, but we're not gonna give up on it.
Well, I wanna thank Mr. Beck for continuing, like he said, to stay on in a volunteer capacity, but it's been a tremendous asset to have his knowledge and expertise and historical, experience as far as this project and how it's gone through the years. So thank you, Paul, for everything you've done. And again, all I can tell the residents is that our team from here, I could not feel more confident in saying is doing anything and everything that we can. So we'll keep the pedal down and do everything we can, and we'll keep everybody apprised. But the goal again is to move dirt and get some utilities going in the end of this year, before the end of this year, and then hopefully start the project in 2023. I know I'm asked all the time out in the community, what's going on with the roundabout? Is that happening? Is that happening? What's the latest? And people want to know, and I don't blame them. So, but again, we're doing everything we can. Any questions on that? Okay. As the chief brought up, Fire Station 69, we've had another last meeting last week. Good meeting. I think we're again doing our due diligence, keeping the cost as low as possible as we try to finalize everything here at the finish line. As he pointed out, it's really looking sharp. It's neat to see it all come together and looking like more of a finished product now that we have parking lots in and all that good stuff. So I want to thank the chief, Assistant Chief Street, Sissy, actually Care, Ms. Rover, everybody that's working on the grand opening. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I'm very excited about that. We're pulling together what I think is going to be a really great program. So we're going to really ramp up our promoting that next week. But again, it is September the 10th at 11 a.m. We're looking at a 3-hour from 11 to 2 as far as the time frame. So we expect the program to be maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and then I will still leave 2+ hours for folks to tour the station and walk through and check it out. And I think there'll be a big wow factor. I think they'll be thrilled to see it. So yeah, anything else that either any of you?
We're gonna do the memorial for
Walt Wade for, former firefighter Walt Wade, who we lost some years ago. And again, it'll be a meaningful event and timely, as we pointed out, sort of time pulling in the 9/11 and just our admiration that we have for our first responders. So. Gas segregation, I don't know that we have enough time to go over all of that tonight, because we could literally be here for some time, but I've addressed that several times throughout the last several months. We finally locked in a price with Energy Alliance, and so we are going to also ramp up our education on that. What I can say is that no resident is obligated to participate. They can opt out, and there is 0 penalty whatsoever if they choose to go elsewhere. I can also assure you that Mr. Reed, myself, and and others, we checked with the other communities, and there are 26, I believe 26 other jurisdictions that all participate in this aggregation, and they all signed on to this. So there's uncertainty in the energy market for sure. Just the day after we signed this contract, there was an issue with Russia and the European Alliance and all that other stuff, and prices shot up tremendously just that next day. So it is more than we were paying previously, but we thought it was in the best interest of our residents to offer this, and I will say offer this. You're not required, again, to participate. If you wanna go out and go with Duke or go with some other, look at your other options, you are more than welcome to do that. But if you wanna do nothing, and not have anything that you need to do as far as research and going out there and looking into it, you will be put back into this aggregation at this set price. And again, it's 0.839 per CCF. The term is for 24 months, but again, we have opt-out clause there. There is no termination fee. So if we decide at some point during those 24 months, we can, revisit that. And there's also, the Energy Alliance is going to continue to look at the price and assures us that if there is a significant enough dip during that 24 months, that they can come back to us and try to renegotiate again. So again, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things to consider with this, but just know that it's done with your best interest in mind, and that we're trying to make it as easy and convenient for the residents of Miami Township. And the other thing is that Energy Alliance does a very good job, and I've heard nothing but good things as far as their customer service. So where if you go on your own and do your own research and go with your own company or your own contract or whatever it is, Godspeed and best of luck to you. That, again, you have that option, but if you go through Energy Alliance and you have a question, they have a website, they have a customer service line, they are responsive, they're going to get back, to you and deal with it immediately. So that is a big perk. So I'm happy to answer any questions. There's several pages of additional information, but I did want to let everyone know they are going to be notified with the letters going out late August to mid-September. So residents will see those correspondence in a letter late August through mid-September. So we're again going to start getting some information on social media and website out so that people can start to familiarize themselves with that. But I'm sure once letters roll in, they'll hopefully get to read through that and have a better understanding. So anything on that? Concert this Friday. I am praying beyond all things that we have good weather. We have our summer concert this Friday at 7:30 p.m. right out here in the parking lot of the community center. We have DV8, which is a longtime crowd favorite from here. All of the things that we had previously planned, the American Legion selling adult beverages, Boy Scouts selling the food. We have the Museum Foundation selling Split the Pot. I think it'll be a great evening, and again, I watch the weather about 17 times a day to check the forecast, so hopefully that is not an issue. Jack, Trustee Reniger asked me maybe 2 or 3 meetings ago, he brought up the La Rosa's property and whether there was a turn lane going in and that there was money committed in a savings, that if in fact that ever came about, that we'd have to deal with that and ask if there was any update. I met with the real estate agent, Rakesh Ram, in the last 2 weeks and checked in with him. Basically, he gave we've got some possibilities, but again, he wasn't going to tip his hand as far as anything specific. I can also tell you that there's a property, butting up against that, where there's some informal inquiries, that may require our land use committee to take a look at that if that becomes a formal request. So stay tuned, but I am having multiple discussions with some different restaurants, and developers, and trying to drum up some interest so that that property doesn't just sit there and continue to grow grass. I think it's, you know, it's an opportunity when we're looking to do the roundabout and maybe put in sidewalks and everything else, that I'd like to capitalize on that and get something moving in there. So, stay tuned, but I'm trying to push on that. I have a meeting with Congressman Warren Davidson, our new congressman, scheduled for next week. He is hoping to make the fire dedication grand opening and open house. So I hope you all get to meet him. And I think that's all I have.